it in the ocean, do you think, or do you see any other life around you?
They're saying it's connected to the previous lifetime, but it's not really happening at the same time. But it's because of this one that I became the rock formations. It was the desire, a little desire that I had because I was bored a little.
And so this life came first then, before the other stomach?
Yeah.
In some ways? Okay. And is there any other relation between the stone life that we are experiencing in this one that should be said?
They brought me to a spaceship. It felt like it was a laser beam that sent my consciousness down here.
And what did the spaceship look like?
Silver. It's pretty round, I would say, mostly, except it's pretty round, like a saucer, like you would imagine. And it has doors on the top and lights on the bottom, but it seems it's not like a bunch of metal like we have our planes and stuff. It's living organisms and connected to there's a pilot and other living beings on there, so it's like a collection of consciousness. It's silver though, and otherwise it looks like it would be made of metal, but it's not really.
And the beings on the ship, what do they look like?
They look Arcturian. They look blue and pretty thin. They look like that humanoid form. They don't have hair. Don't have much fat on them. They're pretty skinny.
And what is the reason that they would put these species on this planet?
Seems like there's a lot of species on the planet already that have been put there. Not only by them, but specifically they wanted me to like jump or teleport into these forms to be like a link for them to connect with.
Tell me more about that. How would you be a link?
I work for them, or it's like I'm their connection to that species or to that aspect of Earth. There's they're doing like experiments and stuff with different things, and so they sent me. I had experience, or I was trained previously for it, to species jump or something. Like there's an aspect of it, because it's not really easy. You forget who you are in these lifetimes too, not as much as in the human form, but there's an aspect of being who you are in that lifetime that I have been practicing not falling so far into that I forget, so that I can share information with them that I'm learning. It has a lot to do with the Earth, because they are helping her, and so yeah, our mission is really about her transformation more than anything.
And what kinds of transformation would take place?
I have this feeling that like we know what we're doing, and that she's moving into her light body, and we're assisting with that transformation, but it's not the first time that we've come to a planet to assist. It's just something new that she's going through. And they are new forms that I had never been in before, like the rock and the water. But she's a very important form within our system, and so we've come to assist her.
And do you feel like there's anything else that you'd want to do here, or are you okay to move on?
I'd like to meet the captain of the ship.
And let's do that, and we're there now. And what do you see?
There's like a place where they are maneuvering the ship, and they're like very high up beings within the... It's kind of scary to be in there, like I'm not supposed to be.
And why is that?
It's just not my place.
And as you're experiencing the ship and the captain, are you still the mossy species, or are you more consciousness or something else?
Yeah, no, I don't have a body here. I'm just looking at where the captain is. But it almost feels like I have a relationship with him, like I'm his daughter or niece or something.
And what does he look like? Can you describe him in detail?
They all look similar. He has pointier ears than the others, and there's different parts of his face that make me recognize him as the captain. It doesn't really have to do with clothing. It doesn't really look like they're clothed necessarily, but there's features that are recognizable to know that they belong here in the captain area.
And how many are crew on this craft? Are there quite a few?
There's a lot, yeah. Maybe 6 of them, 6 main people within this area that I'm in. But it feels like there are many. And many of them, there's 2 ways of experiencing it. There's consciousness, and then there's actual physical forms. And currently I'm experiencing what I'm sharing with you from a consciousness perspective, but I also have a form on the ship, and I just live in a different location. Like a smaller, it's like just like little rooms, and I'm just a worker. But yeah, it's as if I have some type of a connection. I'm not just a worker, but that's where I am, and that's where my bed is.
And tell me about that, your bed.
My little space that I live in. It's like there's many little doors that go into rooms, and I live among many of them. And it's simple enough. It's just like a hard box that the body lays on. But we're traveling a lot. It seems like I sometimes inhabit the body, and in the location within the spaceship, but when they need me to go somewhere, then the body, it's like it disappears and reappears somehow. But I travel a lot, go to different places. Time isn't quite the same as it is here on Earth.
And so, can you exist as the mossy blob and the stone species simultaneously and also be on the ship, or is it when you travel that happens?
All time is now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I think my body into being on the ship, so it doesn't die and stuff. Yeah, it's just thought form.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I feel comfortable in that body. And the ship it feels like my family.
Mm. And is there a purpose for this ship in particular?
Yeah. Yeah, they're saying we're time travelers.
Tell me more about that.
It's kind of like it's a science in and of itself, but then so like there's like Arcturians, and then there's different things that you can be skilled within, and we are time travelers, and we're sent on missions for different galactic forms like the Earth to when she's desiring something specific, or other forms in the universe, not only Earth. Then we hear that call. It's like an energetic frequency that asks or beckons us to come, and we assist in transformation and in it's like a lightening up process, a less dense physical reality form that she's currently craving. But we are working with her now. It's not only her, there's many light systems and aspects of the Arcturian frequency. It's just this is our mission at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And is everyone on the ship a time traveler, or are there different roles on the ship?
It seems like there's many different roles, botany and time traveling, and yeah, we all work together for this ascension. It's not just, but we're all Arcturian on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
There might be one. There's one that's not. She seems more she seems more Syrian, but she doesn't like to admit that she's just a part of us. It's fine.
And does she look pretty different then?
She's blue, but she's different. She's more aquatic looking.
I see.
But she still has arms and legs like we do. And we're all blue, so she thinks she fits in, but when I scan the ship, I can sense that she's not Arcturian.
And how do you scan the ship?
Just with my mind. When I'm answering your questions, I can look and see. But I'm seeing energy more, so then when I can sense her energy out of the so many of us, there's just one of her.
And does everyone get a small room on the ship then?
It seems like nothing's really constant. It's because we are not 3D like humans, like this reality, then it's thought form, so it's just a less dense reality of energy. But I like my room, and there's many others that also have a small space that is their own within the ship.
And so is that something, the room, that's created by thought form then?
Yeah, some of them don't stay on the ship.
And where would they go? On missions then?
It seems like they beam out to different places, and they're not always on missions. It seems like they can go and travel if they want to. It's kind of like a job, you know, like you can come and go, but they don't travel by car. It's more of a beaming sensation that happens with their decision making, their thoughts. We're not structured in a way that keeps us from moving like humans.
And when they beam to a certain place, is it almost like they're there instantly then?
Yeah, it's just a thought away.
Mm-hmm. And is there a physical location for where the ship resides, or does it move around quite a bit?
She's hovering above Earth. She moves around within the star system currently because that is our mission at the moment. It's able to go anywhere, but
Mm-hmm. And so it sounds like the main purpose then would be to help Mother Earth then?
she's ascending, yes. It's
Mm-hmm.
an ascension mission.
And how does the time travel help with that?
Time travel doesn't help with that. It, no, because it's a different. Because we have a different perspective. We're higher dimensional beings. And so it's not even, what we're doing isn't time traveling really with the lifetimes that were remembered. It's anchoring process. And as the rock formations or the aspects of water are conscious with our consciousness within them, although they are a part of the earth, our awareness can anchor. It's like a light that we're anchoring in the earth. So we're not only physically opening portals, but because we are conscious beings, we might forget for a period of time when we inhabit them, but as we remember and can anchor our light, then we can leave that light anchored within the forms of earth as we move to or ascend or transcend the form itself. We can move and do this around the planet. Once she's anchored properly, then the light will, it kind of overtakes, it will overtake the entire form of earth, and that is how she will transcend or move into that new form of being, which is the fifth dimension.
And is that the anchoring of the light? Is that something that everyone here needs to do independently?
It's the spacecraft mission that I'm working with.
I see.
It's what we're currently doing on Earth.
And does that have to do with the energetic core or the grid?
The grid feels like a really big topic. It might be an aspect of what you call the grid, but yeah, it seems like there's, like when you say grid, and when we say grid, we know that there's so many energetic patterns crisscrossing at all times. Seems like there's many beings doing many different things. They all have their own agendas. And so there's many grids that different ones connect to or tap into. But ours is very specific and very purposeful. And there are others that are working also for this mission, but not everyone. So not every grid that is available to tap into is the one that we are anchoring in with this light.
I see. So it's almost like maybe different species have their own energetic grid that overlay on top of each other. Is that sort of?
And they have their own agendas.
I see.
So some of them are doing it for different purposes, very, very different purposes than what we are connecting to.
And what would be your purpose?
We're helping the earth ascend.
Okay.
Moving into the light body. She will still be, it seems like there's an aspect of her that is moving into the light body, and that's what we're working with, that aspect. There's different, it's like earth has different conscious like points of view, but there's an aspect of her that's moving into the light body, and that's what we're working with.
I see. And when the ascension happens, is it a larger benefit for much more than Earth?
It seems like there's a timeline that is affected by it that we're on. So there's many points of view and perspectives that will not be affected by the work we're doing, but the specific timeline that we're working on is important to us.
And is this timeline still up in the air a little bit of?
All time is now. It's not. There's nothing. It's difficult to explain because you have linear ideas of time, but there's no. All possibilities are available, and all time is now.
I have read that
subject.
That the past and the future and the present are all existing all at once. Is that accurate in some ways?
There's the only reality is now, and you've never been in a time that is not now. And so this is all there is, really. But there's many options within this time. It's just your perspective of how you look at it.
If you were to look at time as a three-dimensional view, would it just be like a web of options?
It's a single dot. It looks like a period or a full stop. It's if I looked at it from a different perspective, from a 3D perspective, it looks like a dot. And as I move closer into it, it's like a web of lines that create this dot that I see from far away. And so you can choose any time, but it's all within that one little dot.
I see. I've been told that Earth is unique in that way because we do have a time barrier in place, and many other planets outside of that do not have that. Is that true?
It was created for a specific purpose, and so the timeline was required in order for it to progress like it has. But it was like man-made. It wasn't made on, not man, but it was purposely created.
The Earth? I see. Was it for the experiments?
There's an aspect of that, but it was kind of like an accident, like an accident isn't the right word, but it's like it was purposely accidentally created. It wasn't really meant, like what happened wasn't necessarily supposed to happen, but it was on purpose. That makes sense. Kind of got out of hand a little.
I've heard that it used to be a vacation planet, or that other species would go there because it was, I guess, built to be beautiful. Is that right in any capacity?
Well, we didn't ever vacation here, but that's not. They're showing me that they would like implant eggs within the earth, inside the earth. And so we were using it as a breeding ground for hatching different things. So it seems like there's others that might have seen it as a vacation, but we had other things that we were doing until it's like she sent out a call for us to come. She wasn't we weren't here for vacation, or we never came for that purpose, but we have been aware of her and like growing things here and implanting. Yeah, it looks like eggs like inside the earth that we put here for our own purposes. And she was very beautiful and green before humans as they are now known were here. So it was much more peaceful and beautiful, but there was a happening that occurred that has created this specific timeline that you are on. And we don't much care about this timeline. It's more about, it's a different timeline that we're working with that we care about. Has to do with the ascension and the light. But all possibilities are here, and so it's just our perspective.
I see. And the eggs that were placed, does that have anything to do with the inner earth?
No.
Can you?
No, they're just in the ground.
Okay.
It's like our bio. It's like DNA or something that we were. It was more of an experiment that we were playing with. It wasn't anything more than that. It was just. It's like you put seeds in the ground. It was kind of like that for us. But that's how things get wonky. That's how accidents happen. You don't know what you will create, and so it wasn't us that created the humans as they are. They're blaming it on the Palladians, but it wasn't our fault. That's what they're saying, essentially.
And is there any kind of overarching council or something that would regulate what experiments are happening?
Yeah, I can see a council. There's, yeah, I can definitely feel that.
And so it is something that is tried to keep under somewhat of control, then.
There's like an overarching consciousness.
I see.
I don't see forms sitting on chairs or anything like a council, like the human aspect of me would think of.
Sure.
But there is a consciousness, and some things are allowed and others are not, and we are aware of those things. But to an extent, there's less rules and things than maybe what there should have been. But that's the fun of it. And we don't really care.
Do you want to speak at all about the timeline that you are? I know you mentioned bringing the light down. Is there anything else that you'd like to share on that in the ascension?
It just completely became light for me. It just seems like loving energy, peaceful. So I'm not sure if there's really anything to share except for there's lightness available.
And should we move on?